And I mean, speaking of, it's the white in the train that's limited. Okay, thanks, guys. All right, so we're talking about the tree earlier that we're still going to present, the 2-foot tall tree, 24 inches, big, oversized. We love these grand pieces in holiday decorating. Designed to complement that, if you want, or completely on its own, is this nostalgic building. Here's the challenge that we often have when we present at QVC. Like, you'll go to the website and you look at an image, and that will obviously tell you what something looks like, but it doesn't necessarily give you scale. And then when you see it live, and I stand in front of it and I put my hands here so that you can kind of get a sense, this is big. It's 12 inches tall. It's all that baked ceramic, that hand painted, and another, thank you, plug-in design. So should you choose, that light is completely off, the light is on from a switch, not a battery. And we have 3 choices between this and the tree, that oversized tree. I think you get one of each or 2 of it. Like, you build over time, you create this beautiful village. Half our quantity is gone though. This is not the first presentation. So let's take you through your choices, and we'll start over here. Look at this. I love that we have this on 2 of these. Let me get in close. Can you hear? The bell works. There's 1,400 in the schoolhouse remaining. And it's not just lit from within because the kids are studying hard. We have the tree that's lit. It's lit with the holiday lighting and the bell on the top. That light goes all the way up and through. And obviously we'll bring our lights down in a second, but first we're going to show you the choices. So there's the red and white schoolhouse. Next up, would not be surprised if it's the first to go. It often is. It's been the most popular so far, and we only have 800 remaining in the church, that beautiful white church. And I'm going to pick this up for a second. Oh, perfect. There you go. See how the snow is already starting to melt on the rooftop, because I'm sure the congregates are inside and it's all warm and cozy. The snow's starting to melt. And again, we have that bell at the top. Okay, and then finally, we have the barn. It's the most limited, and only 150 remain. I think if you're the red truck collector, this is going to be a great one for you. The oversized wreath there at the top, the green roof with the melting snow. Even the lights are that bejeweled, faceted lighting. Much to discuss. Leslie, you're back. I love that we, I mean, honestly, it really all started with that very small, nostalgic ceramic tree. And then it grew, right, pun intended, from there with the oversized tree and the different incarnations of that. And then we go, well, wait a minute, let's make this a glorious ceramic village and keep it affordable so people can have these heirloom pieces without breaking the bank.
Right, because we know that you are collecting our trees and you're decorating with them. We wanted to make a further collection. This looks like something that you put together over many, many years, yes, of finding special pieces, exquisite pieces, that have all of this beautiful workmanship, all of that same ceramic finish, that high gloss. I've got a big tree right here next to me, so you can see how beautifully these work with those. And all of these have those same nostalgic bulbs, the little nostalgic trees. So it feels like such an amazing collection, and yet it feels as though you've passed them down from generation to generation.
That's exactly what it feels like. It feels like, something that my grandmother or mom would have passed on to me, and then my daughter, and in the future her children would look at it. I love just the...
And you will.
That kind of reflectiveness of it. Like you look, I imagine being a little girl again and looking at something like the schoolhouse or the church and kind of imagining in my head what would be going on inside, kind of like an old school, kids at their wooden desks of all ages being taught back in the 1800s, or in that little church. I speak often of the very small church that my daughter, my dad, and I go to on Christmas Eve, and they always have the little children recreating the birth of Christ, and it's so adorable to watch, and you feel like you travel back in time, just connecting with people again on Christmas Eve. The barn, I won't share too much of a story about, because guess what? It's last call. Only a couple dozen remain. And again, I have to do, it's kind of crude for me to just kind of pick it up and clunk it around, but I love being able to show you how beautiful it is from all angles.
And big. These are such statement pieces. Each one, we designed them to work together, but each one could be a focal point in and of itself.
Totally.
It has those 2 different layers of lights, so you get the lights outside, that kind of Clark Griswold effect around the eaves of the barn, and on the tree out front, but also because these are plug-in, they give a wonderful
Yeah.
glow from all of the windows too. And that's especially as in the barn, actually in all of them, but as you were talking about in the church, it does to me remind me so much of that Christmas Eve service where it's all candlelit and the church is just glowing just from candles.
And I hope you noticed too, and when we come back, I'll show you up close as well. The
Yep.
snow, quote unquote, that's on the top of each of these structures is drenched in a beautiful kind of pearlescent glitter as well that is not
Yes.
coming off on my hands. I rubbed to double check. And so it adds that extra bit of luster even when the lights are off. Okay, speaking of lights off, I'm gonna have to switch off the lights on one of our choices because that barn is completely sold out.
Oh
So we are
my.
left now with that beautiful church, 600 remaining in the church, and 1,300 in our schoolhouse. None of these ever, we'll talk about this again with the trees, are a sure thing for 2022. So if you see something and you love it, you know, obviously it's ceramic if you want to mark the bottom with the family name and year, it will become a collectible. The problem is we don't know if it will be a returning collectible next year, the year after, the year after. Shipping September 13th, H227745, schoolhouse and church remain. Put it on that easy pay, $14.60, and add it into or start a beautiful Christmas village. Okay. What started it all and then grew bigger and bigger. I first presented this to you this year